Hey beautiful people, hope this finds you well. So lovely to connect with you in this moment. I think last time we sat down and shared time together would have been around winter solstice. So we're around the 19th of January now, so almost 4 weeks ago, almost a month ago. I always say that I like to share and connect based upon personal experiences and those personal stories and those things that are unraveling and unfolding around us. I always want to keep it with that realness and that heart. And as the title of this video says, my personal healing experience, my personal journey and healing experience. And here we are. I woke up on Sunday morning, and I had a friend reach out to me and say, Shane, I don't know why, I just want to check in with you. Have you got your eye drops on repeat? I repeat prescription. Over these last few years, I've really worked and understood natural medicine and the Hedgerow pharmacy, but also really kind of know and understand that there are times when the best of those worlds have to work together. They have to work together. And I'm definitely a kind of a living, breathing story of that. Of being able to kind of move around in the way I do. I have two bionic hips, not bionic literally, but they're rebuilds. It's been incredible at that level. So that friend, and it was kind of like a nudge. I kind of looked at that and thought, what is about, what is occurring, what's unfolding, what's unraveling. So living with a chronic illness and disease at times can be brutal, and right now it's kind of kicked the living daylights out of me, and I don't say that lightly. I woke up on Monday morning, the early hours of Monday morning. I'm going to read this to you. Someone's kindly typed out for me, and I'll read this to you that was wrote in my journal. I write this original post at 2:32 a.m. Monday morning as I awake with unbearable pain in my right eye. You can't see now probably because it's been an afternoon, an evening and a whole next morning of eye drops going in every hour, and that's something that I will be doing for the next 9 weeks alongside another form of eye drops. Several times a day, but all this flesh under here was swollen. It was really red. The whole eye was completely bloodshot red, and the pain is unbearable. And I have a high threshold of pain, and the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because this is a healing journey, and it's never about us. It's never about me. It's about us. Never about us. It's always about us. It's never about me. It's about us. And it's about how we heal together. And I'm going to share something with you a little bit further along this video. To what I feel is unraveling here, what I feel is happening here, that for me today was deeply profound. And Spirit have always said all information's information, and deep listening is at the core of everything. So Monday morning as I awake with unbearable pain in my eye, I place a warm compress on my eye and I write these shaky words in my journal. They are as much for me as they are for you, and I really understood that today when I reflected on that. You know, writing down in my journal was able to give me an insight of what was showing up, what was coming through, what was stirring deeply inside of me. You know, it's that deep listening again. And you know, I wasn't ashamed to say that at the time, that this, you know, writing in the journal was as much for me as it is for you. And the following morning I made my way to hospital. You know, I'm very lucky to have the loving people around me that I do, from neighbours to incredible family and friends, that in times of need they will support me in ways that they can, and right now safely so. The thing is, you know, there are people that are falling through the cracks within this crisis that we are all experiencing. And it's about, you know, I think that it's about having an understanding of that. You know, for me, the last 25 years I've been living and learning from a condition known as ankylosing spondylitis. And it can be brutal. And I've, you know, foraged and fostered a deep resilience. Yet when this illness gets feisty, because it can, when it gets feisty, it's hard. And I remember as I was writing earlier hours on Monday morning, you know, kind of having memories of cycling the length and breadth of this country, from the top of North Devon back to my home in Sussex. Another adventure of cycling the west coast of Scotland all the way up to the top there, Inverness, and then coming back down through the Cairngorm and Grampian Mountains. Incredible life-changing journey, and another beautiful journey with some family and my dear friend Matt. We cycled the coast to coast cycleway from Cumbria all the way over to Newcastle Tyneside, up over the or touching the Yorkshire moors, and up over the Dales. Incredible climbing, and beautiful experience, and you kind of pull upon all those experiences. And when I look back on the, you know, the expansion that we had then to be able to kind of just go off into the world and have those experiences and adventures, and we've got, you know, young children now that, you know, don't know that, you know, and how the world has changed in such a small amount of time, and it will change again, and for the greater and the better. And I really do feel that we'll move from harm to healing, and beautiful things will emerge. So as I say, you know, you pull upon those experiences, and over the last few years I've learned so much about natural medicine and the Hedgerow pharmacy. Yet when things spiral out of control, you know, you need a little help, and that's exactly what was happening. My care plan with my GP totally fell off a cliff. I couldn't reach them. I tried and tried and tried, you know, and as I say, I got the nudge during the week off a friend, and I'm thinking, so I started to implement and make sure that I had that care plan around me, and it was there, and then it all kind of fell apart, and couldn't reach my GP, you know, after many occasions of queuing up for over an hour and a half with many people in front of me. You know, we're all hearing the stories of what's going on right now, and you know, it just literally fell apart. I couldn't reach them. The only choice I had was hospital, which, you know, right now was a very daunting thought, to be honest with you. but yeah, I must say, incredible people doing incredible things. Um, and at the heart of it, at the heart of all this, I think it was befriending. It's about befriending any illness or any dis-ease, and embracing it as a teacher. And that's the way that I've approached it. What is it showing us? What is it showing us? What message does it carry? And together with a conversation I had with my dad and some lovely people around me, I really do believe today we've begin to, I've began to understand what message this is showing me, because this is something that has reoccurred 4 times over this last year, but this time was absolutely brutal, completely knocked me off my feet and grabbed hold of me very hard and shook me. What message does it carry? How can we take responsibility? That's a really, really important point as well. It's about how we face it. It's how we meet it. Are we going to fight it? We're going to be annoyed by it. We're going to be overwhelmed by it. Yeah, a little. Or we're going to be kind of angry with it. Or we're going to meet it as a teacher and a messenger. What is it showing us? What message does it carry? How can we take responsibility? Being at a hospital at this time, I've gone on to say, being at a hospital at this time was very sobering and a humbling experience. So much hit home. Seeing those staff move around in the environment as they were, I felt incredibly held, supported, looked after, and incredibly safe. And I am so very, very grateful and thankful for the care and the goodness and the consideration I've experienced and I've received, not only with the staff but those that I come into contact with, those that I also work with. I've had to reach out to those that I work with and say, I'm having to relook at my schedule for the next few weeks. After doing this and a little bit of other work and reaching out to my clients, I'm going to be taking some deep rest and really kind of exploring what's opening up, and the healing that's happening. The staff were amazing, and it is going to be, without a doubt, it's going to be a slow and steady recovery with 7 or 8, 9 weeks treatment. Drops, as I say, every waking hour. A solid care plan now in place, and those drops slowly being reduced as the weeks go by. I've been advised to fully rest and recover and let my eye heal, and believe me, I am listening, and I am listening very deeply. And for once, I'm absolutely going to really grab hold of that. It's not in my nature to sit back. It's not in my nature to just kind of stop at that level. I think that in some ways that has been my strength, but it can be a double-edged sword. It's the very thing that got me through AS. It's the very thing that when I was told that I wouldn't walk and I'd be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, it's the very thing that got me out of that, got me up on my feet after 2 major operations, 2 hips. It's the very thing that got me up on my feet, but I think it's the balance that is often required. That kind of resilience and determination, if not a bit stubborn, got me up on my feet. But it is also about um, the the softening as well, and the gentle nurture that is required, and we are going to illuminate that. There is some very powerful seed thought that come up. So yes, I've been advised to rest and fully rest and recover, to let my eye heal. I am listening, and I'm listening deeply. I think I've always worked at the sharp end of trauma. Yet this last year, I've never known a time like it. So much loss and so much devastation. So much trauma. And since the new year, that has really enhanced. Without a doubt, I really do believe that we're at the edge of a mental health pandemic. I think it takes courage to share vulnerability. And we're in this for the long haul. I think there is no easy fix. I don't think there is an easy fix or a quick solution. I think the way through this is kindness, care for self, care for each other, tenderness and resilience in equal measure. I think community is a big part of that as well. So much is falling apart or being ripped apart. It's been decimated. And I really do truly feel we will get through this together. And together we will move from harm to healing. Together we will rebuild. We will rebuild from the rubble and the remains. Together we are learning what it is to be fragile, what it is to be tender, yet what it is to be strong and also solid in equal measure. Now, coming back from hospital, I'm just going to look at my notes here. Coming back, that have been wrote up. It's very, very large for me to see and read to you. Here we are. Coming back from the hospital yesterday, I had a really interesting conversation. Really interesting conversation with my dad. He was like, when do our eyes really rest? And he was telling me, he was sharing with me about these two cells that are in the eye. That one reacts to light and one reacts to darkness. And the one that reacts to light, even when we sleep, is held active, and it never switches off because of backlights and light in the environment. And I thought, my God, yeah. And I know that when I woke up at 2:32 a.m. to walk past the thermostat backlight for the heating in the house, is that light actually was really painful, because you become really light sensitive. You become incredibly light sensitive, and it actually felt like stabbing pains or knitting needles going into the eye. So that little bit of light become really magnified, and your eye becomes really light sensitive. And I thought to myself, gosh, yeah, Dad's onto something here. Those two cells in the eye, one that reacts to light and the one that reacts to darkness, the one that reacts to light never actually totally switches off. It's held active by backlights and light in the environment. Our ancestors would have known true darkness. They would have absolutely known true darkness. they would have been enveloped at times in soft healing darkness. As Dad said, he said, the moon having her cycles would have placed us in complete darkness. Once the fire died down, the dark moon just before the new moon, which was quiet and still and dark. And I thought to myself, those words click so deeply. So bear with me, we're going somewhere here. Those words click so deeply. Hence my yearning to sit deep in the woodland and to rest easy beside the fire this last new moon. It was just such an overwhelming want and require to sit in the woodland just before new moon and into new moon and sit and rest easy by the fire. And I shared a beautiful post on Instagram about that yearning and that experience and that story of sitting by the fire as we approach the dark and new moon. In that complete stillness and that quiet, the medicine of winter. Is the world ever really quiet? It no longer values the deep rest that darkness offers. The rest and darkness that our ancestors would have known. Now we have backlights, street lights, digital displays, layers and layers of unheard noise. Think about that, and that was Spirit's words. Layers and layers of unheard noise. Our eyes do not really ever rest. Even when they sleep, they are still absorbing light. And light is information. It's stimulation. I've often said that modern life is overstimulated. And as I say that, I can feel spirit around me just kind of, it's like a piece of a jigsaw that is absolutely falling into place. Our eyes do not really ever rest. When we sleep, we are still absorbing light, and light is information, it's stimulation. I have often said that modern life is overstimulated. Really important point. We're gonna springboard from that point in a moment. And I had this other beautiful conversation with an inspiring lady, a mentor, who was saying that, and we was exploring that all disease is a dis-ease. When I listen to what illness and iritis says, what brings ease? Ease is the answer. That is the medicine. Deep silence, that is the answer. We no longer know true darkness without some artificial forced light. Stimulation. We never ever truly rest without something subtly tugging on our attention. And this last year there's been so much noise, so much pain, unheard and unseen noise. Yet it's there. When do our eyes really rest? When do we really rest? We've come outside of the natural rhythms of one season at a time. All information is information. We no longer know true darkness without some artificial false light. And I felt such an epiphany, such a deep answer, an answer on a soul level. And how profound is that? And I remember, going back, Spirit hinted the first time around our eyes witnessed so much. And then as I was having these notes wrote up, I was listening to Radio 4, and there was a programme on our senses and us being overstimulated in life. And I know moving forwards there's some real powerful medicine at work here, some really powerful healing at work here, that, you know, I've had this feeling, this calling of the importance of us rewilding, which is my call to grow the food within the land, my call to rummage around and forage in those hedgerows and learn those old ways that really fit in the modern world. And it's not like running back to the old world, it's about anchoring them and infusing them in the modern world, and working with the two, you know, working in harmony, in relation and in partnership with the two. But I really do feel that we've lost our wildness, and I really felt the urge and the calling that moving forwards, that the work, the message, the story is going to be about rewilding. And I think that we do live in a time where, you know, there's constant stimulation at some level, that is not allowing the ebbs and the flows, not allowing the seasons to move for one season at a time, you know, not allowing the darkness during the winter to really take hold. There's something, there's always something, there's some hum in the room, so to speak. And I've had this calling to rewild people and get people out into the landscape and get people out into the woodland, and, you know, that's been there for many years, but now it's taking hold in a way that I'm becoming it. As a good friend of mine says, it's, you know, are you becoming the person that you dream to become? And, you know, I can see it. It's not about manifesting it, it's about receiving it and becoming it. It's allowing the unfolding to happen. And I've had this vision of, you know, sitting around a fire on my family's land, and sitting on that, around that fire with some very special people, sitting with people, sitting with community, and sitting with someone next to me, and I'm holding this talking stick, and this talking stick is being shared around the fire from person to person, and people are sharing their stories. And I really do feel that the healing that is to come in the future is being held in community, being held in together, our shared experiences of our loss, as we rebuild and we move from harm to healing, as we rebuild from the remains and rubble. It's the stories that are being shared in community, ceremonially and sacredly, that are going to hold real deep healing. And I had this vision of a talking stick, and this was unpacked on Christmas Day. We'd placed all the gifts, and you know, I'm very blessed that gifts from beautiful friends and family, that are often a part of them. They've been crafted, made, gifted with a lot of goodness and love, and I, when I opened this, I just went completely, I was completely blown away, and I still am completely blown away. Because it was a part of that vision. It's a part of that message of where we're going, of the vision of sitting around that fire in community and the stories being shared. Look at that. This is a talking stick. It is a talking stick. Beautiful gift from my dear friend Elaine. And alongside my phantom quartz crystal wand. It's going to be a very important tool in the later part of this year as we sit in community and share those stories. And I really do feel, alongside the beautiful, most incredible work that has been done through consultations, it is such an honour to sit with the most courageous, beautiful, heartfelt people that absolutely come and sit with me with deep honesty, vulnerability and integrity, and at the same time they roll up their sleeves with so much heart and determination and grit to meet those changes that they are meeting right now. It's such an honour. And then can you imagine that then sitting alongside those people in community, sharing those stories in a heartfelt, sacred way? That's going to be powerful medicine. And I do feel from that will springboard the sense of rewilding, things such as vision quest, really understanding our place in the world, and also understanding and being able to navigate the new world, because we're birthing and will be birthing into a whole new world that maybe for some people won't be recognisable. They won't recognise that world, and being able to kind of sit within the landscape and kind of drop into that deep listening and call upon insight and vision, as in a vision quest, and then being able to move into that new world formally is going to be powerful medicine. And I think the medicine comes from community, from our shared experience of pain, loss and grief. And I think, for so many people and for those that are caring for us, there's going to be a requirement for healing for them as well also. I know with this it's that penny dropped with that sense of, do we ever sit in complete darkness and stillness without something tugging at us? The world is not quiet. I listen deeply now, but there's places within the world that are really quiet. I think the more closer we go back to nature, the more we go back to those roots, the more natural the rhythm is. And listen, we're part of that. We're not separate of it. So there you go. There's a bit of my personal healing journey and story, and some thoughts to consider. And I'm moving deeply into that. There's things that I'm going to do. I've done a little bit of research, and there's blackout blackout mask you can wear over your eyes that completely black out any sense of light, which is going to allow this to really rest and heal, with a little bit of admin and creativity work along the way. And those incredible, beautiful clients that have wrote to me, that I've wrote to them, I thank you for your grace and your goodness and your healing wishes and your love. Your love, I feel it, and your deep appreciation. And I had a little parcel come through the door today from a dear friend, and it was a signed copy of with a signed note, a handwritten signed note from a wonderful lady called Glennie Kindred. A good friend of mine had reached out to her and asked her to send me a little book with this beautiful handwritten note. Hold on. This beautiful note, handwritten note there, from a dear friend that reached out to us, send me this wonderful little book. Look at the and it's the Earth cycles and celebration. Beautiful. And that arrived today, and you know, these things are never by chance, are they? Never by chance, they're always by design. So yeah, I just want to thank all those wonderful people and wonderful clients that I have that have reached out with beautiful, heartfelt messages, wishing me a gentle and wonderful recovery. One lady went, "I wish you a speedy," no, "I wish you a wholesome recovery," and I thought that was really beautiful. Yeah, thank them, you know, and I'll be seeing you all in a while, and I think going forwards with the videos, it'll be I can see a whole journey opening up, and it'll be, I think, sharing that, and there is absolutely something about this and about the healing that comes from people being together, sharing their experiences, their stories, especially when it is held and anchored in those wild places. For now, my heartfelt thanks and gratitude. Heartfelt gratitude to all those wonderful people that are connected with me, and to all those wonderful people that have taken good care of me over the last few days, and all those people that hold me in their hearts as I hold you in my heart too. See you all very soon. Take care. I was going to say, keep shining. Sometimes I think we do need that stillness. Take good care. Speak soon. Lots of love.